Hey everyone, welcome to Geekdom Forecast again, and today we'll be talking about Mortal Kombat.
Get over here!
Before we start off with the review, we'll also be covering Castlevania Season 4 and Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. So stay tuned for that as well. What's Mortal Kombat? First of all, Mortal Kombat is a popular video game series which was during the 90s, and it was, like I said, it was quite popular, and it was created so that it can go toe to toe with the likes of Street Fighter, and it was created by Ed Boon and John Tobias. Street Fighter had a very cartoony kind of element to it when it comes to the graphics, but Mortal Kombat took a very real life approach, and by that I meant they had real life actors do all those martial arts moves, and what really made the game ultra popular was the fatalities, and boy, they were brutal as hell. Brutal, violent, wild, what do you want to call it? It just raised a lot of eyebrows.
Raiden wins. Flawless victory fatality.
The media didn't like that, the parents group did not like that, and it led to the creation of the Entertainment Software Rating Board. So far, there have been 11 installments in the Mortal Kombat franchise. I'm talking about the video games. And if you want to include the platform exclusive games for, let's say, the Game Boy or further additions, subtractions, DLCs, then there would be over 26 titles of Mortal Kombat. Yes, this game has had a lot of staying power. Mortal Kombat also had its fair share of animated movies, series, and comic books as well. And also, back in the 90s, I believe it was 1995, we had the first Mortal Kombat movie, and it kind of gained a cult status. But the second one, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, well,
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
enough of that. Let's move on to the review. And wait. Spoiler alert. And also, while I'm reviewing the movie, I am doing it from a fan perspective. I'm not a movie director or anything like that. It's just me as a fan talking about the movie and how the movie really is. So there might be parts where I might be a little too harsh on them, but please bear with me. I'm just talking about the movie. Yes, before we start with the review again, what was I expecting in this movie? Of course, I wasn't expecting some kind of Oscar-winning performance or a Best Picture kind of thing. I was expecting this movie to have, the fatalities, the gore, the violence, the characters finally coming to on screen and just feel all that vitality and energy. I just wanted to have a good time watching this movie. But let's look at the review. Alright, Mortal Kombat. What's good about the film? The opening scene was good. I mean, that was pretty good. In fact, the opening scene was really great. I mean, we came to know about Hanzo Hasashi, the Shirai Ryu, and Bihan, and the Lin Kuei clan, and that was pretty well done. I mean, the action scenes, the first 7-8 minutes was really nice, and it really set the platform for the movie. And Kano was good. Kano was also pretty good. That was a good character, and yeah, that's it. Okay, what did not work about the movie is, apart from that good bit, I think we could say everything else. Let's talk about the storyline or the script or whatever. The movie just jumps from one point to the other, like as if it's in a hurry, like as if it's the person is getting late for a school or for his work, and it just goes from one point to the other. After the opening scene, we are introduced to Cole Young, and after that, we're introduced to Shansung and the new Sub-Zero with his mask, and then we're introduced to Jax and Sonya Blade and then Kano again, and yeah. So they just keep going from one point to the other, and they mention about the tournament a lot, like about this old great Mortal Kombat tournament, where basically it's an interdimensional tournament and realms from all over the universe compete for this, and that's it. There's just a lot of talk and talk and explanation and talk, and there's not the actual tournament per se does not take place. I mean, understand that the filmmakers wanted one movie to be about pre-tournament, and the second one, if it gets made, would be about the tournament, and the third one would be the post-tournament. But like I said, just a little bit of Easter eggs sprinkled all around here, and a lot of talking. Then these guys, everyone's there, and then they have a little group, and then they go for their training. They're looking for their arcana, which is basically like the special power, and that is also just goes on and on. Liu Kang is introduced, Shang Tsung is introduced, and they just well, in video games, the storytelling is very different because it's like 8 hours of gameplay, and Mortal Kombat has been there around since I believe 92, 91, and it's like pretty long period. So hence the storyline is one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat does very, very well. In movies, you just have like a short capsule that is like around 2 hours or so, and everything has to be done pretty quickly. So a lot of the times I felt that the characters didn't really get their moments. It's just explanation and fights, just trying to pander to fan service, and it just did not work for me. And a lot of the characters are just there for the sake of it. I mean, Reptile's just there for the fatality. Raiden, I don't know what's up with Raiden, and he's just angry, pissed off old guy who just keeps telling people that they are not worth it. They're not fighting the tournament. Sonya Blade is there again, and Kano was overly charismatic, but that's it about him. There's then there's Cole Young. Well, speaking about the protagonist, if you remove this guy from the movie, it doesn't really won't do much to the overall plot. I mean, they could have made Liu Kang the central character. They could have made, let's say, Scorpion the central character. But I understand they wanted to get like for someone who's not a fan, who's not into this whole Mortal Kombat thing, they wanted a fresh face, a new character. There's not been in the video games, but this guy, the character is just too bland, too stereotyped. It's basically Rey Skywalker. I mean, she was interesting, but the blandness and everything is just over the top. And in fact, his special power or whatever is like a golden suit, which is basically like a Black Panther ripoff. So yeah, and he just has like a moment with Goro, and that's it about him. Throughout the series, we come to know that he's in fact the descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, which is basically Scorpion. And I don't know why they would do that. They could have just put Scorpion throughout the movie, put him as a central character. But this guy being there, it just hurt the other characters. Let's talk about the direction. The direction in this movie, well, let's talk about the action sequences. Mortal Kombat has a lot of hard, heavy action, and throughout the video games, everything is just no holds barred. And when I was watching this movie, I was expecting like a hard-hitting action scenes, something like John Wick or The Raid. But here things seem a little too choreographed for my liking. It's almost like a dance movement going on. Yes, there is a fatality. There are callbacks to the previous power moves or whatever, but that's just it, and it just does not work well. There's no link between the action sequence and the fatality. It's just too pretty for me. It didn't feel like there's no weight to the punch or whatever. And what really messes up the movie is the editing. Fast cuts. There's one bit in the movie where Cole Young goes to visit Sonya Blade, and then she does some kind of power move or some kind of move on him, and I kid you not, there are 5 to 6 different edits in that just one single move. The fast edits just really throw you off, I mean, I would say the editing is as bad as the Suicide Squad movie. There's also a lot of continuity error. For example, if character A is in a certain position and talking with character B, and the camera moves to character B, and then again when you move to character A, he is not in the same position. He is doing something else. So that was very glaring for me because continuity. I'm not a film student, but as far as I know, there has to be a degree of continuity in the movies. But here, it felt that things were rushed, and the editing and all this just didn't work for me. And yeah, I don't know this movie. Ugh. Going back to the classic video game dialogues, yes, it's there throughout, so that was fun. I liked that, but others, it again felt out of context. They just had to put it there because they say it. I liked it that they said it. It's just that didn't go with the movie. In the end, all I can say is this. I mean, there's lots of. I mean, they must have been sincere in their approach. I'm 100% sure, but the movie felt very rushed. It felt like this movie was pandering to sequel setups, to building a franchise. Sub-Zero worked, and I would be happy to see Bihan come back as Noob Saibot, and Scorpion worked. And I wish the movie was more about these guys, and the later movies could have been about, let's say, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and all these lots. But there were just too many characters, and I couldn't get behind any of them. If you're not a video game fanatic, if you're not a follower of Mortal Kombat, you wouldn't know what the heck is going on. I think because I knew something about the characters, I think I could get behind them. I would give this movie 4.5 out of 10. Just giving the brownie points for Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That's it. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you do like what we are doing, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share. This is Ren, signing off.